we'll see what we've got. We did a double boot. We did a double boot on today's show. And let's see. It says we are live. Let's see if I can pull this up on the iPad. And there she is. Okay. There she is. And Durr's in the house. Jaden's in the house. Lance is in the house. And Bree's in the house. We are going to have a special appearance by the lovely Bree, BreeFitDance.com. And by request, I think she's going to dance to the Skype ringtone. The Skype ringtone. And I've got the 002 on wrist underneath the cuff. See it peeking out of the cuff there? Get it out just a hair more. Just see, that's what you can do with a dress watch, is you can have it inside the cuff and have it just kind of peeking out a little bit, so that you hit them with a little bit, just a little bit of torque, just a little bit of torque there. And then if you want to do the whole thing, you can bring it out what I call below the bone, right? We might do that in a little while here. We'll go to the full exposure in a little while. Oh, I got to take my AirPods out. They look silly. I had them on because my buddy called. He called right before showtime as usual. Can you imagine? At least now he's starting to call about 10 minutes before showtime as opposed to 1 minute before showtime. At least there's that. So, again, there's the 231 Stunner on deck, on the bench, if you will. And there's the Bree Fit Dance. There's her lovely website, BreeFitDance.com, BreeFitDance.com. Health, fitness, beauty, hoop dance, Bitcoin fan, strong hand, hodl, hold on for dear life. You had to hold on for dear life here lately because Bitcoin spiked up and went across sideways and did a little Bart Simpson. Did a little Bart Simpson routine, the up. And now it's back around 12,000. So it spiked up over 12,000. Remember I told you there was a big sell wall at around 12,000 and a little bit over 12,000. There was a big sell wall. Well, that's what happened. It hit that sell wall and it came back down. It's at about 12,000 as we speak. I sold when it hit about 12,400 or so. I sold my GBTC at 14.75, my GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and I may buy it back. If it dips down a little more, I'll probably buy it back again. Fortunately, I did that in my Roth IRA, which you pay no short-term capital gains. You pay no capital gains at all. So I can buy and sell Bitcoin in my Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and not have a tax liability. So that's why I play around with the Bitcoin Trust. And that has no effect, of course, on the Bitcoin that I'm holding, the actual Bitcoin. That is rock solid, strong hand environment. So Durr's in the house. I think volume is a tad low. Really? Sounds pretty good to me. Let me know. Can anybody else confirm in there if the volume sounds low? I haven't adjusted anything. I haven't changed a thing. And Mike says, looking dapper, Craig. Well, thank you. I think this is a Gitman Brothers shirt. Pretty sure, yeah, it's a Gitman Brothers shirt. So very full, very, very full shirt. The naysayers would say it's too baggy. It's too baggy. Well, that's what makes it comfortable, folks. That's what makes you be able to move very freely, is all that extra fabric. Expensive shirts tend to have some extra fabric in them. Let's see. Little St. James Island now costs a 5,100 BTC. Okay. Kyle's in the house. Volume is good. So I got a vote that volume is good. When you get closer to the mic, it's louder, but it's just a tad low when you're further. Yeah, well, yeah, it falls off quick because this switcher has quite a fan noise to it. And that's why I use this mic, which it falls off very quickly, because that way you don't pick up the room noise, right? So it's a trade-off. With audio, it's always a trade-off. If you get isolation, you don't get the room noise. But if I turn away from the mic, then obviously it drops off very quickly. So that's why they call it working the mic. You're supposed to stay close. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. And Joey's in the house. All Bitcoins are up, even the ones you don't like, Craig. I made 4x on my money, so I'm holding long haul 4x. All Bitcoins are up. There's only one Bitcoin. Are you talking about altcoins? I hate to tell you, Joey, but altcoins are not Bitcoin. They are not Bitcoin. They are pretty much garbage. So some people make some money on altcoins, but a lot of people get burned. A lot of people in the long haul end up with less Bitcoin because they played around with altcoins. They think they're going to get more Bitcoin that way, but a lot of times they don't. And Leon says that shirt is too baggy. You look like an extra in a Laurel and Hardy film. There you go. In the old days, they did tend to wear high quality. Well, a lot of the actors, like if you look at movies with Cary Grant, for example, a lot of his shirts had a lot of fabric like this, and his suits would have a lot of fabric, like the pant legs would be very wide, right? Because when you sit down, if you're wearing long pants, for example, and you sit down, you bend your legs, right? If your pants are real tight, everything binds. It binds. It's very uncomfortable, right? If you have plenty of fabric there, you bend your leg, it's fine. So there's reasons why high-quality clothiers made clothes in a certain way. And then these hipsters come along, and they think that they've got a better idea, right? They think they have a better idea. It's just like these ugly watches, right? They think that they take a watch and put a bunch of screws on the outside and make the case look ugly and put an integral bracelet on it and all that, and that's like hip, man. This is cool, man. No, it's not. It's just a bad design. That's why most watches weren't designed that way in the first place, is because it was a bad design in the first place, and it hasn't gotten any better. So that's how that whole thing works. Durr says Tudor sucks. Epstein may have had a jet, but Craig's got the Bitcoins. Mike in the house. Time to bust out that straw boater to go with that shirt and pen. Let me get my straw hat. Stand by. I'll get it. Decline that. Some idiot calling in the middle of the show. Okay. There we go. This is like the hat that Johnson, didn't he wear a hat like this style? President Johnson? Let's get rid of that. That's another spammer. Spammer's calling. These glasses are filthy. Let me clean these glasses real quick. They are filthy. Okay. Can't see a damn thing. Why spammers have to exist? I don't understand. I don't get the whole spammer thing. Do people fall for that crap? I guess they do. That's why they do it. Get the big knife to go with the straw hat. We got something better than that. We got Lady Brianna is going to call in. The lovely Lady Brianna. And by the way, I found a watch on Chrono 24. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm going to go to my notepad here. This is kind of cool. This is kind of a cool piece. I like those hash marks with that's like purple. That's almost Bree's color. I wonder if that is really purple or if it's blue. She loves purple. That is kind of cool. I used that in the thumbnail for this video. I used this watch. And that's a 6-digit watch. It's a 369. I think that's neat. I wonder if those indices are actually purple. Does anybody know? what the deal is with that. Okay, let's see. What the heck, Craig? Are you voting for Trump or Calvin Coolidge? That hat screams roaring Trump, roaring 20s. It's the, is this the, what's the style? There's a style that Stetson calls this. I can't remember now. I think LBJ wore this style. Is it called a cattleman? No, it's not a cattleman. I got one of those also. This is something else. Darn, I can't remember. Somebody's going to know, though. Somebody's going to put it in the chat. They'll know what style this is. It's a Stetson. Let's see. Jaden V says, great daily driver. You should get that for Bree. Let's go back to the dial. Does anybody know what those indices actually, the actual color? Because, you know, the color can be off on these photos, right? Does anybody know what the actual color is of those hash marks? That would be interesting to know. And I guess they still glow. I guess it's still lume, right? Please do tell. Do share details. Looks like a campaign hat. No, they have a specific name, and I just can't remember the name of it. Stetson has a particular name. Smokey Bear wore that hat. It's similar, but it's not. It has a name. Or Resistol Open Road. Yeah, this is Open Road. Yeah, that's what this is. And are you sure he wore Resistol? He didn't have a Stetson? I think he also had a Stetson. That's what it is. I believe it's an Open Road. I believe that's the style. Somebody Google Stetson Open Road. I'll do it. Sometimes you have to do it yourself. Open Road. See here? See, that's what it is. And there's a straw hat right there. There's probably the one I'm wearing, or close to the one I'm wearing. See, here's the one that, this is the type that LBJ wore. Just like that. I'm pretty sure that's what he wore. A felt Open Road. Open Road, my man, Open Road. Yeah, that's the way that works. The dial that's shaped that color is called grape. Yeah, but this is with the hash marks. This is not the same thing. Are you sure that this is the same color as the grape? I don't think so. I think that's a different color. Come on, we're supposed to have some watch experts here. Come on. Let's get down to brass tacks. The Applegate Experience is in the house. Royal Deluxe hat. The Applegate Experience. What are you doing there, Applegate Experience? Are you holding any Bitcoin? Are you holding? Do you have a strong hand? Let us know if you got a strong hand. And Lady Bree, call in when you're ready. Call in when you're ready. We're always ready for the lovely Lady Bree. I think she's waiting for us to get up to at least 20 live viewers. She wants more viewers before she calls in. So there you go. But yeah, I would like to know what the actual color of those hash marks are. And they don't look the same as the grape. They don't look the same color as the grape. I have to say, I beg to differ with you on that. See that? It does not look like grape. That looks like either blue or purplish blue. So, let us know. Craig, did you vote for LPJ? I'm not quite that old. And somebody said the old people get scammed by the spammers. Yep, I guess that's right too. I have two strong hands, says Durr. Let's see. It's a ladies' watch. Most folks don't care about them, so there's not a lot of knowledge of them. Well, that's not a nice thing to say. We all care about the lovely lady Brianna and what watch she ends up getting. We care. Jaden's in the house. Did you hear from Eric after your stellar review of his collection? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I doubt he's seen it. I think he's too busy. Too busy hustling out there moving and shaking. Out there doing the things that the hipsters do. That's probably what he was doing. Let's do this. Let's get a little bit more exposure. Let's get the 002 down below the bone. There. See, that's how you do it if you want the little bit more exposure. You get it below the bone. So let's take a look here. Let's get a close-up. That's looking pretty good if you ask me. Cartier are nice on women. Yeah, but we need something that's pressure-proof for her to swim. And I don't think it'd be a good idea. You chewed that collection up and spit it out. I think I was pretty nice about it. We just straightened him out, that's all. But we did it in a nice way, in a loving way. Breaking news, Jess took a hint listening to us and put a new clasp in production with micro adjustments. Yeah, but it does not, it's the micro adjustments where you have to use a tool to adjust it, right? They had that before on some of their sport models. They've got it on my 231, so that's nothing new. What we wanted was something where you push in the GS logo, right, and you can adjust it back and forth without any tools. That's what we were asking for, correct? Am I correct? Will Bree have a watch before 2021? Oh, that's probably pretty much for certain, I would think. We'll talk to her about it when she calls in. We're over 20 viewers. Best part was when you didn't care who gave him the watch. Well, I did say that he should keep the Coke. I said he should keep the Coke because his dad gave it to him. I did say that. But I said as far as who owned it, the other one was owned, the Daytona was owned, I think he said, by his dad. And I said that doesn't matter because, first of all, it's a Daytona. I wouldn't have it under any circumstances. Let's see. No one voted for LBJ. Craig, I think the Crador may be my holy grail now. Just got to wait until I'm a millionaire. Yeah, but does it even come in a yellow gold? I don't think it's as attractive as this 002. I like the Cradors, but I think this one trumps it. I really do. Let's see, Craig, are you only considering a Rolex or GS for Bree? Also sent an email. At this point in time, even a micro adjustment that requires a tool is an improvement on a GS. If they start putting it on all models, but if they just put it on a few sport models, they've already had that. They already had it on some GMTs back in the day. This is nothing new. People act like it's a new thing. I've seen other GMTs that they sold that were sport models that had it. Let's see. Well, maybe an Omega. We saw a couple of nice Omegas that might be a good possibility for Bree. With a screw down crown and everything. That would be much more affordable. Let's take a look at this link that we have here. This is a blue snowflake spring drive. Yeah, I think you can get those from Steve. I think Steve has these. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Bree's going to call in soon. Craig, what's the tallest hat you own? I have one that is pretty tall. It's like maybe a little taller than this one, but it's like a fedora style, It's got really nice beaver felt to it. So maybe after Bree calls in, if we have time, maybe I'll show it. But it's super comfortable and has a really high beaver content. It is, and I don't remember where I got it. I don't remember where I got that watch. Where I got that hat. Obviously, I didn't buy it new because I think it dates from like the 40s or something, right? But I don't remember if I got it at an estate sale or how I stumbled across that hat. But I stumbled across it somewhere, and it's really was a high-end hat back in the day, and it's still in very good condition. It's got see, that's the thing with the newer hats. They tend to have a lot less beaver felt in them because I guess the beaver felt is really expensive now. And so they tend to have a lot less beaver felt in them is the problem. Let's see, Goldwater elected LBJ. There you go. Okay. Triforce Rich, by the way, Dogman was saying in Craig's group that GS finishing isn't that impressive and he's going to sell his 229. Was saying in Craig's group. Whose group is that? I don't understand what group that is. But anyway, the Dogman doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. We all know that. And good luck selling the 229. He shouldn't have bought that in the first place. He should have bought a 231. He was an idiot to buy that. Craig, do you have any Tilly hats? Yes, I have a number of them. Yep, I've got videos here on the channel of them. I've got one that's hemp, and I've got two or three others that are just the normal, whatever the normal fabric is that they make them out of. But I have one that's made of hemp that is pretty freaking cool. Let's see, Trump has implemented so many socialist policies this year. You can imagine when Dems get into office. Yeah, they all try to buy votes. That's what they're trying to do, buy votes. I meant Tim's group. Okay, gotcha. Well, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, that Mark would make some stupid comment. That's not a surprise at all. Durr has a 229. Yeah, he shouldn't have bought that. He should have bought the 231. I don't know what he was thinking. So we try to help these people, right? See that piece? See that piece? He says he doesn't like the GS gold, the GS and the Grand Seiko in gold. He doesn't like that, right? It looks super cool. It gives a nice little pop to the watch. It looks really eat up with class. See, sometimes these people need a little bit of coaching, need a little bit of help. Like the people that want to wear real tight shirts all the time, right? So they can barely move. They need a little bit of help. I saw a review on the new Sony A7S Mark III, which I'm on the waiting list for. And this guy did a review on it and all. And he had this guy that was in all the footage. They were at a beach and he was walking along and they were showing him in slow motion footage and all that. And he was like wearing these like skinny guy jeans and stuff and everything real tight and all. And it looked okay. I mean, the footage looked okay and the guy looked okay and all that. But I was thinking the whole time, man, those must be uncomfortable wearing those pants. It's one thing to see an extremely attractive young lady wearing some skin tight jeans. I mean, she looks great in it, right? It shows her figure and she looks great in it. But it's not comfortable. Don't anybody, pretend that that's more comfortable than having pants that have some play in them, some slack, so that you can actually move. So there you go. Dogman is Freddy Krueger. Does the Dogman wear a wig? Some people had said that kind of stuff. I don't know. Who knows? It doesn't matter. It wouldn't help his looks any. I mean, he's not exactly, Cary Grant, and not that I am. I mean, all of us need to know our limitations, right? Let's see. I have a 231. I love the gold letter versus the white on the 229. Absolutely, it's the way to go. Duh. The gold GS logo, the dial of the silver watch looks ugly. See, Durr, we just have to. You just need a little bit of counseling on a few things. Just a few things. You've got your act pretty much together. You know how to cook a steak. I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? But on the watch thing, we need to do a little bit of tuning up, just a little bit of tuning up, and we can get things where they need to be. There's a few watches that you just need to get rid of in your collection, and a few that you need to keep and wear more often. and then we'll be where we need to be with that whole situation. An ancient pop is a nice aesthetic contrast. An accent pop is a nice, got to disagree with there. Okay, an accent pop is a nice aesthetic contrast. The gold GS logo adds elegance to the dial, says Lance. Eddie Hall is going to box the mountain. I'd much rather see Craig versus Dogman. Well, see, that's the thing, though. I'd have to take him out real quick, and that would not be sporting. So, yeah. Craig, do you have a TikTok account? I think I do, but I don't use it, Mike. But the lovely Bree uses hers, and I would highly recommend you follow her on TikTok. Highly recommend that. We're at 29 live viewers. We're creeping up on 30. I think she's waiting for 30 live viewers before she calls in. I think that's what she's doing. She here she is. Speak of the lovely Bree. I'm not going to say speak of the devil, because I'd never say that about the lovely Bree. So let me I'm going to have to take the hat off so I can put my headset on. Hold on, lovely Bree. Got to take the hat off so that I can hear you.
Wait, can you hear me?
Now I can. I had to put my headset on. Can you hear me?
I don't think I can hear you.
You can't hear me. Okay, you better turn on your speakers.
See here.
You better turn on your speakers so that you can hear me. Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. Seems like there's a delay. Is there a delay? Now, you're not, remember, you want to listen to me through Skype. You don't want to listen through the broadcast because there's a delay there. Right?
No.
Okay. All right.
It's on Skype.
Okay. All right. We've got the lovely Bree on, and let me see here. Let me catch up on the comments here. Craig, if Chip Wong arranged to donate $100K to the charity of her choice, if you fight Dogman in a boxing match, would you accept the challenge? You have to win to collect the prize. Oh my gosh, 100,000? Yeah, and he can donate it to Bree Fit Dance. Absolutely. I'll do it. I'd knock him out real quick for 100 grand for Bree. Well, yeah. Now, what would you do with the 100,000, Bree?
Save it or get Bitcoin with it. Buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, that'd be a good move. That would be a good move, buying Bitcoin. Absolutely. Well, that's the same thing as saving it. You're just saving it in Bitcoin as opposed to dollars. So, yeah.
Or I can just half and half. One is for savings and one is for Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But the problem is if you save it in dollars, dollars go down in value every year. Did you know that?
That's true.
It's called
Bitcoin will be higher.
It's inflation, right? It's through inflation. And that's why inflation is really a tax on people who try to save, right? It's a tax on them because basically their money gets worth less every year and they're trying to save it and trying to get ahead, but inflation is taking away the purchasing power.
So Bitcoin is the answer.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Durr had asked if you could dance to the Skype ringtone.
Yeah.
Now, can you bring it up on YouTube so that you can play it when you dance?
Let's see here.
I sent you the link.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna use my hoop.
Okay. So you're gonna hoop dance to it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how that works.
Test my practice. Let's see here.
And Durr says, I want to see Craig do a Bitcoin dance. Now, that's probably not going to happen.
You can see me like the whole.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Actually, you can probably even point it down a little bit more, the camera, because it's a little bit of headroom over your head. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and you can, yeah, move the chair. Can it go back a little more, the chair? Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, right there we can see the hoop and everything.
Like
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so, all right, so let's see what she can do. This is by request from by the lovely Bree, and this is Durr. This is by request from Durr.
We just turn it up real high
Okay,
so that everyone can hear.
okay.
Oh, come on. Okay, there it is.
Live television, folks. The lovely Bree. Lamont's going to miss it. We're at 30 viewers. Oh my goodness, Bree. That was
Is
good.
that good?
That was good. You know, you've got to record this with a regular camera.
And like post it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get the opinion of the guys in the chat. Let's see what they say. Let's not let my opinion rule the world here. Let's see what they say. What do you guys
Yeah.
think? What do you
What
guys
to
think? Should Bree record that, her dancing to the Skype ringtone, just like she just did, and put it up on her social media? What do you guys think? And let me catch up on the comments. This was before you danced. Bree, at least get a 26 millimeter day date. Save the rest. That's financial advice. There is no 26 millimeter day date, Jaden, is there? I don't think they make one. Let's see. I want to see Craig do a Bitcoin dance. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Wow, Bitcoin looking good, says G-Poo. Where's Lamont? Lamont's going to miss it, says Durr. And somebody with a long name says, wow. Kyle Jet says, yes, this is classic.
thank you.
Lance, keep your hands up. Okay, whatever that means. And Durr's clapping, whole bunch of clapping. Wow, your hooping skills have improved so much, says Jipu.
Thank you.
I want to learn that move, says Easy Japanese Cooking, whatever that name is. And Tim says, getting better with the hoop, thumbs up. And Durr says, I think Skype might have a new ambassador.
Oh.
There you go. I think so. I've never seen anybody dance better to the Skype
Skype works.
ringtone. You are getting
Yeah,
good.
definitely. I can
You
be an ambassador.
you are getting good, young lady.
Thank you.
Now today is
More
push up.
practice.
Today is push up day. Do you remember that?
It is push-ups day.
Have you done your push ups?
I have not,
You want to do them
but I
live?
will.
You want to do them live on TV?
Sure.
All right. Let's see. Let's see what she can do.
So how are we gonna do this? I'm gonna
Okay.
have to bring down the laptop.
Okay. Take your time. Take your time. This is live TV. It's no problem. Is that Hawaiian hula move too? Very creative and talented, said Mr. Q.
You said it was a Hawaiian?
Somebody says, is that Hawaiian hula move too? I don't know if
I don't
did,
think
did
so.
they do hula hooping? You did a couple moves in there that were sort of like a Hawaiian dance almost, though. A couple of those moves you did were sort of like they do in those traditional Hawaiian dances. So that's probably what he picked up on.
Oh,
It's probably what he picked up on.
Well, that's my style of dancing. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's really
That's
good, and that's what really makes the hoop dancing special is you can add your own flavor to it. You can add your own
right.
moves to the hoop dancing. Okay, I'm going to go back to the 231 while you get ready.
Like right there.
Okay. All right.
Maybe without my hair, like.
Okay, do you have something you can put your hair back? Do you have like a band or something you can put around it? So that'll keep it away from the mic also. If you put it behind you. Yeah.
Let me take my socks off.
All right, here we go. We're going to see if she can do. Let's see how many she can do.
Oh
And
God, it's
I
so
will
much pressure.
count. I will count. Okay, here we go. 1, good form. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going. 11, 12, 13, 14. Keep going. Push. 15, 16. I want 20. Keep going. 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, you're going to push more? Okay. 21. Keep. Okay, that's good
Yeah.
enough, Bree. That's good enough, Bree. That is
Good.
really good. And now that doesn't count towards what you're supposed to do today. That's just extra. So after the show, you still have to do all your sets.
Yes, definitely.
This was just a demonstration. So I'm impressed. You're getting stronger. You're getting stronger, girl. You're working at it.
Yeah, it's hard work, but it's good. Good for your arm strength.
Yeah. Well, yeah, your core, everything. It benefits everything.
Definitely.
All right. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. You think she's doing a good job? You think she's doing a good job? Let's see here. Colin Scott's hooping to Skype, push-ups, etc. Is there anything Brizzy won't do for Craig? I think she's doing this for you guys. She's doing it to entertain you guys. She cares about you guys, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
For all of you.
yeah. And Peter's in the house. He says, "What's this I came by?" Um, you want to let him know who you are?
Brianna, Briefit Dance. You can find more about me on briefitdance.com.
Prefitdance.com, and I'll show her website too when she finishes. I think she just brings a nice light to the show. She brings just a nice, bright, positive vibe to the show. What do you think?
Thank you.
What do you guys think? Let us know. Bree will never get COVID-19 at this rate of fitness, says Tim McDonald. I don't think so. Yeah,
I hope not.
I think it's got no chance infiltrating the lovely Brianna. It has no chance whatsoever, in my opinion. You agree, Bree? Just isn't going to happen.
With good nutrition.
Yep. And you're eating right?
Yes.
Okay.
No junk food. I don't
Okay.
need junk food.
Okay. There you go. You know, it's funny that people we talk about this COVID thing and all this, and people wearing masks and socially distancing and all this, and then you see them lining up at the McDonald's drive-through to buy junk food and put it in their bodies. I mean, don't they get the message that one of the most important things they can do for their immune system is eat properly, get proper nutrition? I mean, that's huge towards your overall fitness and your ability to fight off any viruses, not just this virus, right? There are other viruses around, right?
And
And
just to be just to be healthy overall.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say, okay, so Mike says, Craig, did you see the photos of the massive pool parties in Wuhan, China right now? Over 100,000 people at a pool party? Wow. Well, that's amazing. Fair play, Bree. Keep it up. Well, here's the thing. If young, healthy people get together and party and all that, it's okay. If they do get it, most of them are going to recover and not even know they had it. They're, the chances of them having a bad outcome is very, very small. Very, very tiny. So it's not going to be a problem. As a matter of fact, it's going to help, with herd immunity. The more people get it and get over it, the less likely it can be spread around. And that's how the thing's going to eventually burn itself out, is people are going to, whoever is susceptible that can get it is going to get it, and some are going to get over it. Some are going to have a bad outcome, but in any event, it'll move through society, and when it's done doing its thing, it'll be over with. And that's how these viruses do. They move through the population, and those that are most vulnerable, unfortunately, succumb to it, and those that aren't survive. And that's what happens every flu season. There's a certain number of
Yeah.
people that die from the flu. And it just is what it is. So this has been going on basically forever. It's just that this year is an election year, so everybody's politicized everything. So that's the difference. Let's see, but McDonald's is the refuge of gold Rolex owners with BMWs to still make payments on. Uh-oh, that's not good. They're in debt. That's not good. All right. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Bree. You did
Yeah.
fantastic. And let us
No
know.
problem. Thank you for having me.
Let us know in the chat before we let the lovely Bree go if there's anything else you'd like to ask her or anything else you'd like her to do. And otherwise, if you don't put a comment in fairly soon, we're going to let her go and we're going to show her website and do that.
Yeah. Any questions or anything like that?
Now, when I asked you about the push-ups, you kind of hesitated. Have you been skipping push-up days?
No,
You
I am doing push-ups
on even days.
on even days
Okay.
and arm curls.
Okay, because today is an even day. It's the 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just concerned you hesitated a little bit there when I mentioned the push-ups.
Well, I hesitated because I didn't do them today,
Yeah.
but I will do it after
Okay.
show.
All right. Okay. Just keeping you on your toes, young lady. Keeping you on your toes. Mr. Q, okay, I read that one. My 1988 Datejust 16233 with 3135 movement I bought recently is going plus 2 seconds a day. Excellent. Yes, absolutely. Keep wearing that and enjoying it. That's a good piece. Mike says, Bree, where can we find you on TikTok and OnlyFans? What's OnlyFans?
It's like a website where you post, I think pictures and videos,
So can
but like
you?
more seductive.
Oh, really? Can you get your name on that? Do they allow you to get your username, Briefit Dance,
I actually have one,
on
but I haven't posted
on
anything.
OnlyFans?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, you can
but definitely
post some. You
TikTok.
can post something, but just don't post. Just post your normal stuff. Don't post anything, extra racy. We don't need to do that because you're
Yeah.
a very classy young lady. So, go ahead.
Yes.
You can go ahead and post something, but definitely TikTok. Briefit Dance on TikTok, right?
Yeah, brief it dance.
So check her out. You'll see some. You'll see something. You will enjoy it. I'll put it that way. She's a very talented young lady and obviously beautiful. So it's definitely worth following her. And she's smart. That's a combination that you don't often see. Kevin says, Craig, get on the floor and knock a couple of push-ups out. We'll do that when the lovely Bree comes here. We're going to have a push-up contest between the
Oh
two of
gosh.
us. We'll have a live push-up
Oh,
contest.
and a dance with Lance.
Uh,
Dance with Lance.
Dance with what?
Lance, or I think it was.
Oh,
like a
Lance.
competition between me and him.
Oh, you and Lance. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Absolutely. Okay, and squat day tomorrow. Do you do squats on the day that you do arms?
Yeah, because it's legs and arms day, so yeah,
Okay,
squats.
good, good. Okay. Will Brisley wear a COVID mask and hoop? Brisley. Oh, you mean Brianna? Brianna. No, she's not going to wear a mask when she hoops, colon. Whatever you're asking there. Uh, what's her major? What did you got your 2-year degree, and what was your major?
My major was psychology, but I'm gonna change it. Um, I'm still thinking about it, probably like photography or something related to what I'm doing.
Okay, good, good, good. Okay, Lance has one question here, and he says, Bree, would you rather have one Bitcoin or a new Rolex?
Definitely Bitcoin.
Okay, she's a very smart girl. She's no dummy. All right,
Because Rolex, I just have it on my wrist, and Bitcoin, I have it for long term,
and
you know,
and it'll
for life.
probably and it will probably be worth a house in 10 or 20 years. You could probably get a house for one Bitcoin,
Yeah,
a really nice house, right? You're not going to get a house. You're not going to get a nice house for what for a Rolex. You're not going to be able to trade that for a house, right? In 10 years.
right, right.
So that's the difference. Okay. All right. We're going to let you go. And thank you for calling in.
All right, thank you.
And I will show your website, briefitdance.com. There you go, folks. Just like that.
See you,
A
everyone.
superstar on the show. An absolute superstar on the show. That's how that works. That's how that works, folks. Only here on Mid-Atlantic TV do you get an absolute superstar. Bitcoin degree, what Rolex? Day date greater than 1 BTC. Probably not 10 years from now, though, Arrow Advocate. If you had the choice that you could have a day date and you had to hold it for 10 years, or you could have one Bitcoin and you had to hold it for 10 years. So you had to hold both of them for 10 years and you had your choice. I would take the 1 BTC because I think 10 years from now, 1 BTC is going to be worth a lot more than the day date, I think, in 10 years. That's my prediction. I'm going to stick with it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think 1 BTC is going to be worth in 10 years? I'll take a day date, sell it, and buy 2.5 BTC. Yeah, but the challenge would be if you've got to hold both for 10 years. Let's assume you have to hold both for 10 years. Which would you take? That's the question. Okay, Kyle, a Datejust 26 millimeter in gold. Let's see, Triforce Rich, good for Bree. Buy her a $300 watch and keep a Bitcoin in trust for her. No need to send it to her. She is a holder anyway. I would take the brand new day date and keep it for 10 years, says Durr. Oh, well, he's already wealthy. Durr is financially set. You know, he's a multimillionaire. He doesn't have any financial worries, so of course he can do that. You know, but for others that aren't quite as well heeled, they might want to consider the Bitcoin. But I have not seen any others respond to that. That's funny. The responses are slow in here. No real responses to that to that question. Maybe they're contemplating it. Maybe they're doing some math. Arrow Advocate says, if I had no net worth today, then yes, I'd take 1 BTC / 11K cash. No need to wear a Rolex if I don't own. No need to wear a Rolex if I don't own anything else. Yeah, well, see, the way I would look at that challenge is I would just make an assessment. I would say, okay, what is my belief of what a day date will be worth 10 years from now? In other words, it would be a used day date, a 10-year-old day date. What would it be worth 10 years from now? And typically they're worth, let's say it's 35,000 new. I'm just rounding out numbers here. You can get it for less than that, but let's say it's 35,000. Typically, once they're 10 years old, they're generally worth about half of whatever you paid for them. So let's say it would be worth, 17,000 or something, maybe 18,000, something like that in 10 years, right? So my calculation would be, okay, so let's say it's worth 18,000 in 10 years. What's one Bitcoin going to be worth in 10 years? I think there's a good chance it'll be worth a whole lot more than that. A whole lot more, right? Maybe $200,000, right? So for me, the potential upside of the one Bitcoin would mean that I would absolutely take the one Bitcoin. Now, could you lose everything? Could you lose the one Bitcoin? Could it go to zero? Sure. Absolutely, but I think the odds are not there. I think the likelihood is that is not going to happen. Okay, Oyster Quartz movement overhaul at Rolex will cost you about $2,000. I heard. Do we have to worry about Grand Seiko quartz overhaul years from now? Quartz won't last 50 years. It's going to last at least 50 years, the 9F movement, before having any kind of overhaul done. And I doubt it would be that expensive on a 9F movement. It'd probably be less because they're more common. So, yeah, I would think that that would be something that you would not have to worry about at all. Triforce Riches in the house. Craig, don't you think it's better to not send Bree stuff anymore? Just keep everything in a trust for her under the parameters she behaves well. That way everything is secure. No, I think she should have her own Bitcoin that she controls, that she has her private keys. She's very responsible. She has her own private keys, and she's accumulating her own personal Bitcoin. And that's the thing about Bitcoin, is it's about personal responsibility, and it's about discipline. And I think she's going to be okay. I think she's going to do all right. Maybe she'll have a few hard lessons like all of us had when we were young, but I think she's off to a really good start, and I think she's going to do okay. So, no, I think if somebody gifts her something, it shouldn't come with strings attached. It should be a gift, and she should be able to do what she does with it. And I think she's responsible. We will see. Hey, Craig, did your 005 at 39 mil times 12.1 millimeter fit comfortably under your dress cuffs? Yes, it was fine. Yes, it worked. Yes, to answer your question. That's the main reason why I bought it. I did use it for that purpose until I got the 002, which put it on the bench. That benched it. Let's see. Day date won't be worth more. You lose money. The investment probably triples in 10 years. You mean are you talking about the Bitcoin probably triples in 10 years? I think it might do a lot more than triple, but we'll see. There's in the house. I would take the day date and keep it for 10 years because after 10 years, I would probably still be able to sell it and buy one Bitcoin with the earnings. Used 40 millimeter day dates are going for $25K right now. You really think in 10 years you're going to be able to buy one Bitcoin for the price of a day date, any day date? We'll see. I think you're going to be way off on that. You don't understand how much Bitcoin potentially is going to appreciate in the next 10 years. You don't seem to grasp where we're headed with this whole thing. You'll find out when you watch it happen. Lance is in the house. You could probably go 25 to 30 years without servicing a 9F movement. Most experts say 50 years. Mr. Q's in the house. 0.5 BTC and DJ. Life expectancy in the Democratic-controlled places is uncertain. Okay, I'm not sure what all that means, said Mr. Q. Craig, hypothetically, if Bitcoin were taken down, would you be able to financially recover? Oh, no, my Bitcoin doesn't affect my overall finances. I'm fine without the Bitcoin. My Bitcoin is like a bonus. It's a bonus. all my real estate's paid for. I have investments. I have other cash. I have, I'm set financially without Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm not. I would not think. I mean, some people are kind of going all in on Bitcoin, right? They've sold their house and put all their money in Bitcoin, and I respect that. I mean, they're taking a chance, but I'm not so sure that that's a really good idea. I'm not going to sell my real estate and put it all in Bitcoin. I feel I like to have the security of knowing that I have all my real estate paid off, and I have a certain amount of residual income coming in regardless, and, from rents and things like that, and other investments and so on. So, yeah. Let's see. Lance Longrad, I was thinking about buying a oyster quartz, but decided not to. These are all old and can easily cost you $2K in a few years. Not a good deal. Okay. Triforce Rich says, would it upset you if you found out Bree was cashing out all the Bitcoin you sent her? No, I would be disappointed if she was making those kinds of decisions, and I would probably reevaluate working with her and helping her if she's making bad decisions. So, yeah. And Lance says that Craig, was Audrey also interested in Bitcoin? Not really. I talked to her about it several times years ago, and she really didn't seem to be interested. I have very few people that I've known in real life that have really grasped the concept of Bitcoin and really showed interest in it. And Bree's one of them. She really kind of grasped the concept pretty quickly and showed interest in it. But that's not common. A lot of people are real slow on the uptake. Some of them it takes a couple years. I heard about it in, real early, like 2012, and I didn't really get into it until the middle part of 2013. It was like a year and a half later. I mean, it took me a while to really grasp it, right? When I first saw it, a lot of people, I think, react this way. Is that my thought was, well, it's just a digital currency. Why can't somebody just create another one? They say it's limited to 21 million units, but there can be an unlimited number of cryptocurrencies, right? And so I didn't realize the significance of Bitcoin, that there's Bitcoin and then there's all the rest of these altcoins that are pretty much scams. I didn't realize the distinction between Bitcoin and all the altcoins. It took me a little while to grasp that. And I think it was from Adam Meister in 2013 when he first really explained it to me that I got the concept. And then a light went off and I said, oh, I better buy some of this stuff. So, yeah, I think everybody, it takes a while before they get the concept. So, let's see. Craig, are you familiar with Gresham's law? It states that if two forms of money are in circulation, the more valuable commodity will gradually disappear from circulation. The more valuable commodity will gradually Don't you mean the better money will take over? Bitcoin has been described as like a black hole that's going to like suck everything into it, right? So first it's going to be a lot of the money that people have invested in gold and all. They're going to start shifting that over to Bitcoin. Then it's going to be money that people have invested in real estate. And they're going to start shifting some of that money over. Money people have in stocks, they're going to start shifting that over to Bitcoin. And slowly but surely, it's going to suck all this money into it, right? That's what a lot of people say, is that it's just going to get to the point where it's going to get insane. And if those kinds of things happen, like that company, what's the company? Is it MicroStrategies that just bought $250 million worth of Bitcoin? Let me see if I can pull that up. Give me a second here. I think it's MicroStrategies. MicroStrategy. I think it's them. Let me see if it's them. There's a podcast that I posted on my Facebook today. Yeah, it's them. This company here, MicroStrategy, it's a publicly traded company. They just spent $250 million on Bitcoin. They took, I think it was 30% of their cash on hand, and they bought Bitcoin with it as opposed to leaving it in US dollars, right? And they called it superior to cash, okay? So you might want to look at the press release that they released, because they're a publicly traded company, and they bought $250 million in Bitcoin. And so somebody commented on Twitter that that's like I think it's 0.01% of all the Bitcoin they bought, right? So if just 10 companies did that, that would be 1%, I think. I think that's what they said, of the outstanding. Anyway, it was a large portion of the available Bitcoin, right, that they straight up bought. And so if you think about how many companies there are in the world that have reserves of cash, of currency, and if they start following MicroStrategy's lead and start taking some of that cash and putting it in Bitcoin, the bottom line is there isn't enough Bitcoin to go around. It's going to be a real problem. There's going to be a real supply problem. So, there's only one way the price can go when that kind of thing starts happening. And they were the first. They were the first publicly traded company, MicroStrategy, to buy a significant amount of Bitcoin. They bought 21,454 Bitcoin. Okay. On Tuesday of last week, I guess it was. So there you go. That's something to ponder. Something for you math people to run some numbers on that. Run some numbers on that. Let's see. How can a Bitcoin end up at zero instead of 200K? What scenario? I don't think there's a scenario where it ends up at zero, but the way it could end up at zero is if everybody just starts selling and nobody wants to buy. The price could absolutely crash. If everybody started trying to sell their Bitcoin at the same time and there weren't any buyers, nobody wanted to buy it. In other words, there was a total panic and everybody's trying to sell and nobody wants to buy, then the price could crash very quickly. But I don't think that's going to happen because there's people that want to buy. So there you go. And Prefit Dan says, definitely no cashing out Bitcoin, holding it for life. And she's got a strong arm symbol there. Deport TGV. Craig, what happened to Mt. Gox? Mt. Gox was a kind of a scammy exchange. There's been a number of them over the years. Mt. Gox is probably the more famous. And basically, I think it was an exit scam. I think that it was an inside job, that a bunch of Bitcoin was stolen, and there was a bunch of funny accounting going on and so on. See, here's the thing. If you take your Bitcoin and you give it to an exchange, you literally send your Bitcoin to an exchange, especially an overseas exchange, one in China or Indonesia or God knows where they are, right? If you send your Bitcoin to them, you are trusting them to take care of your Bitcoin, to hold it securely, and to give it back to you when you want it, right? It's just like giving money to a bank, right? You're trusting them. And this is why most experts say if you have a significant amount of Bitcoin, don't leave it on an exchange. Now, Coinbase here in the U.S. is a little more legitimate, and Gemini, the one started by the Winklevoss brothers, twins, those are, regulated and they have a certain amount of insurance and so on. And it's a lot safer, right? But even so, let's say I had $1 million worth of Bitcoin, I wouldn't leave it on the Coinbase exchange. I would put it, I would take control of the private keys. See, with Bitcoin, this is what a lot of people don't understand. With Bitcoin, they bought 0.1 or 0.01%. That's a good, we need to do the math. It's 21,454 Bitcoin. So somebody who's good at math, do the math on what they bought. 21,000. So let's figure there's 21 million Bitcoin, right? Eventually. That's going to be the total amount. Although a lot of them have been lost, right? But go on that number and you can run that math and then we'll know. So maybe it's 0.1%. Yeah, maybe that's what they bought. That makes a big difference. Yeah, you're right, Kyle. Okay, so maybe somebody that's better at math than me will do the math. So anyway, what I was talking about is if you have control of the private keys, then in effect you have access to the Bitcoin that is on the blockchain. The Bitcoin is always on the Bitcoin blockchain, right? It's just who has access to it, who has control over it, who can move it from point A to point B, right? If I can move the Bitcoin from point A to point B, then that means I can give it to somebody else if I have control over it, right? That's the key. And so if you have control of the seed, the private keys that control the Bitcoin, then you're okay as long as you keep that control, okay? You keep that knowledge, right? Let's say if it's a series of words and you've memorized them, well, you're in your brain, right? If you forget one of those words, then you're kind of screwed, right? If you have them written down somewhere and you can access them and you can do your thing, then that's okay. Now, if somebody steals that, if you got them written down and somebody takes that from you, now they've got the keys, right? So there's personal responsibility here as far as controlling your Bitcoin. Now, if you send it to Mt. Gox and they've got it and they do something nefarious, then, oh well, you've given up control of your Bitcoin and you've taken a risk, right? So it's really about personal responsibility is really the situation with Bitcoin. All right, I'm going to wait and see if there's any other follow-up comments. They bought 0.1%. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, so if you run the numbers, that means oh, no, he retracted it. Okay. What about if somebody unearthed huge amounts of Bitcoin, just like somebody finding massive amount of gold? It'll make the price go down. The only huge amounts of Bitcoin that are on the blockchain that nobody seems to have moved or anything, there's a couple of big blocks that are associated with the person who created it, Satoshi Nakamoto, that have not been moved. I think it's like 1 million Bitcoin or something, right? It's a big amount of Bitcoin. And he has not moved them for years. Some people speculate that he's dead or whatever, but we don't know. But in any event, the only Bitcoin that is out there is Bitcoin that we know about. We know about the total supply of Bitcoin, right? It's on the blockchain. It can be audited. It's a public ledger, right? So we know how much Bitcoin there is. And we know when Bitcoin moves from one wallet to another, right? We know how all this works. It's all very transparent. That's the benefit of Bitcoin, is it's very transparent. Unlike the Fed, who can print whatever money they want, and we don't know how much they're printing, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. With Bitcoin, we know how much Bitcoin there is, and we know where it is. Now, if all of a sudden Satoshi Nakamoto started moving that Bitcoin, then yeah, he could sell it on the exchanges and maybe the price would go down some and people would scarf it up and then the price would just start going back up again. It's an exchange, It wouldn't be the end of the world if that Bitcoin started hitting exchanges. Anybody in their right mind that had control of that Bitcoin would not try to sell it all at once. They wouldn't try to crash the market. And more likely, they would sell it on the over-the-counter market. They wouldn't even send it to the exchanges. They would contact a company like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and they would do a direct deal and sell that Bitcoin to them in an over-the-counter transaction. Maybe use a broker in between or whatever. That chances are that big lot of Bitcoin, if you will, would never even hit the exchanges. So it really wouldn't affect the public market price that much, right? So that's probably how that would work. Is Nakamoto a real person? We don't know. Nobody knows who it is. It could be a combination of people. Nobody knows who that individual or individuals are that created Bitcoin. That's one of the beauties of it. And so there's nobody for the feds to go and arrest. There's nobody for them to interrogate. There is no boss, if you will. That's one of the good things about it. Why are other forms of cryptocurrency bad to invest in? I think that most of them are scams. They come and go. They usually last that long. And there's thousands of them, tens of thousands of them probably at this point. So yeah, I would stay away from them. I think they're very risky. What do you think of Roger Ver? I think he was very good early on in the Bitcoin space. He did a lot of positive things for the Bitcoin space, but I think his Bitcoin Cash thing is a disaster. And I think that he's misleading people by calling it Bitcoin. And he owns Bitcoin.com, the URL. And I think he also owns @Bitcoin on Twitter. I'm not sure about that, but he owns some of those things, and I think he's misleading people. And some people buy Bitcoin Cash thinking that they're buying Bitcoin, and I think that that's not good. But people learn. People learn. If they bought the wrong thing, eventually, hopefully, they learn and sell it and get the right thing. So eventually, it'll go the way of all the other altcoins. It'll probably just go away eventually. So what's the best way to buy Bitcoin? I have used Coinbase successfully. I like Coinbase. You can buy it in the Cash app. I like Coinbase here in the U.S. I'm not sure if you're in the U.S. or not, but in the U.S. I would recommend them. Let's see. If Bitcoin went up insanely in price, wouldn't people start kidnapping people who are known to have it and extracting their keys and steal it? That key is like carrying your bank account. That's correct. You have to take security. That's right. If you have a significant amount of Bitcoin, you better take your security seriously. Absolutely. Absolutely you should. You can lock it up with multi-sig accounts and so forth where more than one person needs to sign off for it to be transferred anywhere. So there are ways that you can make it more secure. And if the kidnappers know that you did that, then they wouldn't be able to get anything, right? Even if you agreed to transfer it, it would take more than you to do it if it was on a multi-sig situation. So there are things you can do to try to mitigate that. But absolutely, well, anytime you have significant wealth, you have to take security seriously. I mean, they can come in your place just trying to steal your art and your watch collection and your car or whatever things you have, right? But obviously, Bitcoin's a honeypot. Absolutely. They can try to go after that honeypot. Let's see. Craig, would you ever use one of those Bitcoin ATMs? The fees are too high. Yeah, the fees are too high. Facebook Libra is a scam too. Libra is not. It's not really a cryptocurrency. First of all, it's not even a real thing yet, but it's not really a cryptocurrency. It's more just like a digital dollar, really. It's not the same thing. It's not decentralized or anything. Clive is in the house. He says Trump 2020. That's probably a fake Clive account. Jaden's in the house. Let's see. Clive got hit with a wrench, it looks like. Why would What's Up Booserve get deleted? Okay. Trump has 10x Facebook and Twitter followers than Biden. Okay. Haha, wonder why. All right, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Wow, we're overtime. We're in the overtime. Oh, I got to show the lovely Breeze website. Promised I would do that. I did. I promised I would do that. BreeFitDance.com. BreeFitDance.com. Be sure. Or by the way, I have a page on my website. If you go to CraigShipp.com and pull down the menu and click on Bitcoin, I've got a whole page about Bitcoin with all kinds of information. If you want information, I got a whole page about it on my website, CraigShipp.com. Check it out. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm going to have a very nice dinner. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a very, very nice dinner. And let's see. Clive says, still wrapping puppies up here. Bree says, thank you. Well, you're welcome. Absolutely. Oh, click subscribe. Click the bell. Click the bell. Do the same thing on Bree's channel. Bree asks what's for dinner. I mean, not Bree, the usual. Thanks, everybody, for watching.